And we're going to go through 5 rounds of questions. And let's start by round 1. It's a good sound. So we want to start by talking about the job market as it is now. So first of all, how does the future of recruitment look like? This is one question from Raffaele Fedele.
I'm here.
Are you here, Raffaele? What did you mean by Raffaele? Welcome.
Okay, yeah, it's working. Yeah, I'm Raffaele and I'm actually studying here. I'm from Italy. And actually, I'm asking this question because what we're doing, and me and my fellows, my colleagues, my friends, is try to innovate in this kind of market, the recruitment system. And you know, there are a lot of paradigms that have been involved in the last years, you know, the online recruitment. So I was wondering, what do you think is the future? Can be the mobile recruitment, so with the apps and with the also mobile optimized things. And anyway, what do you think about future recruitment? What is important? CVs, interviews, cover letter, what?
So, Thorsten.
So you want help with your business plan?
Yeah. I have my business plan.
Yes, you want help with your business plan to know where recruitment is going, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think there are some drivers for where the industry is going, the kind of processes we're doing within recruitment. And one of them is that I think the candidates will do much more by themselves. You will actually cut out the middleman, so I'm going to be redundant in 5 years or something like that. I think with all the apps and the possibilities for mobile recruitment you have there, I actually do think that we will have to change the way we're doing things. Actually, right now, I'm looking at an app for our company that will make you do all the work. But then I will offer cheaper services to our clients because we're using these systems instead. We've already seen a rise in the system. I'm sure some of my colleagues here will say that they are using recruitment systems internally, where you lock up your CV and you do all the work. And then we have a point system that actually technical will just root out the people we don't want to talk with. That is going mobile very, very soon. So I'm seeing that as a big trend, and I think it's going to change the way we do business in our business.
So basically, you are not going to be in the way anymore at some point.
No. If you see in other industries that have gone through kind of the same things that we have, the banking industry, you used to be able, or you used to have to go down to the bank to apply for a loan, right? In Denmark, you don't do that anymore. You apply online. If you take the real estate industry, you used to be, you have to have a real estate agent to do the work for you, but now there are online services where you can sell your house or your property without involving anyone. We're going to do the same in the recruitment industry, and we're going to be redundant. How long time, I don't know. I'm going to market or milk the market as long as I'm here, but I know it's going to happen.
Well, it's the same thing that many things will have gone online, right? So if you've gone from like, for example, printing houses, what could they do at the point where nobody wanted printed material?
Yes.
They had to go online somehow. Some managed to make this switch, and others didn't.
Yes.
What happens to the interpersonal relationship? What happens to the people that you talked about, Peter? People are important. You like to work in HR because you meet people, you see them face to face. Anyone who has any perspectives on that? Yeah.
I think there is a major difference when you're recruiting between graduate positions and specialist positions. And I agree with what you're saying, and I see a huge development, but in that way, but particular for the graduate, more junior positions, whereas I maybe even see even more focus on finding the right person for the more specialist senior positions, where the personal interview, in my point of view, is not gonna get away at least in the next.
So the new guys, the guys coming from university, that will be the model Thorsten is talking about, but you still have, for the senior positions, you still need some more face-to-face. Is that how you...
That's how I see the development right now, yes.
Yeah, okay. You had a point on that? Just to read.
Yeah, it's not to disagree, but what I'm seeing happening, as I've told you before, we have offices all around Denmark, and we have offices now opening up in other countries. So what we are seeing is that we are interviewing candidates on Skype. We are doing much more digital way of interacting, actually. So we have actually gone from a very much integration with candidates face to face to not so much integration. So I actually see that happening in all areas, in all levels actually.
Peter, you had a remark?
But I hate it. I like to talk to people.
Yeah.
I still hate it.
Maybe I'm just being a little bit conservative, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to that you know, meeting face to face, evaluating candidates, their potential face to face is not going to go away. There may be, I agree that, you know, we interview people by Skype, but if they're abroad, and we will, and if they're not interesting to us, we of course won't see them face to face. But if they are, we will definitely see them face to face before we hire them. But I will give a little piece to you as well, because I think that what we're already seeing now is recruitment systems where you get a whole, because the problem is, you know, when you have an open position, you might get 100, 150 people who apply. So you will see more of, you know, you get a 10 question questionnaire that you have to fill in online, asking not only what are your abilities, but also how much do you want in, what's your salary going to be, all those things, lots and lots of questions. You fill them in, and the company will read through them, give them points, and then choose the 5 people they want to meet. And so you'll never get into contact with the company.
I would like to raise another question. Sorry if you burn in with something, but there's a question which is really interesting. And I think that many of the questions we got had to do with switching careers. Now, what happens when you come to a new country? You have your master's, your PhD, your whatever in something, and then you go to Denmark, and it seems to be a different kind of job market now. Switching career. So there's one question. Alberto Maria Hansen. Is he here? Alberto? No, Alberto. No. Anyway, he asks, I hold a PSc, but I'm interested in social works. Right? A Bachelor's of Science. How can a private firm experience be used to work in the social sector? And how can a professional/student coming from a different background start a professional career in the social sector? Now, this is just a case of someone coming with a background wanting to switch. I'm sure we can use this as a case in a more general level, right? But I wanted to put this question specifically to you, Marianne, because how can you, I mean, this is one reason why I wanted to invite you tonight, because we have a huge public sector in Denmark. Many countries in the world doesn't have the same, right? Copenhagen municipality is the largest company, so to speak, right? It employs more people than any other company in Denmark. So many people do not see the public sector. Can you give us a few?
I can say there are possibilities if you're coming from another country. If you're a foreigner, go to International House. Maybe you can get 4 weeks temporary work on a company. But I think you should all go, not all, but the people who are interested to work in the public sector, to go to International House and ask them how to get jobs in a company. But as the international social sector. But as I said to you, it's very important that you speak the language. The 2nd of June and the 3rd of June, I had both days 2 different training courses with people who were you employed. And there was 22 on each course. And on one of them, there was a girl from Ukraine. She had lived here in Denmark. She spoke fluently Danish. She's now working in a place where we're looking for people's money, and it's very important that she's sitting and typing in the systems we're using, in the IT systems. You must learn the Danish language if you want to work in the public sector. That's very important. I mean, that's all I can say. And I can also say it's just an example. You can take it or leave it. But I think that you should try to be volunteer, work in volunteer, take volunteer jobs. There is a homepage, frivilligheden på dansk, the volunteer in English, of course, and then see what there is at jobs. There are UN, they're looking for people working in their shops. There are Red Cross, they're looking for people working in their shops. I can say that I'm working at volunteer. I started many years ago when Roskilde Festival, if you know it, when it started many years ago, I was a young teenager at that time. But I went back to Roskilde because I thought it was good. They're doing a lot of good things. And I worked there volunteer first. 4 years ago I was making sandwiches. Next year I was making the sandwiches as well. The next year they asked me, will you be in charge of the food, Marianne? I said, yes, I go for that. And now I'm going to be the host for the people who are coming to play in the States. So you get network. I think that's very, very important. Whatever you're doing, that you maybe don't think all the time about the permanent job, but to do network. That's also why when I moved to Kenya, I couldn't get any of the jobs where English had to be my mother language. I had to get a few hours at the Swedish school, teaching Swedish children teaching Danish children at the Swedish school in Danish, and teaching Swedish children in woodwork. I mean, we all know what an angle is, and they make birdhouses or whatever. I mean, it's very important to be a bit proactive, trying to get in when there are openings.
Thanks, Marianne.
Sorry, it took a lot while.
Your story about the apples, right? Sell one apple, another apple.
Yeah, that's the thing. You want to expand from something you know about. Good point about voluntary work. Anyone here doing voluntary work? Please raise your hand.
It's where you communicate with the Danish people, learn the
Wow.
language, local bar, whatever.
Yeah,
But not
let's
go
give
to-
ourselves a hand.
Yeah, don't go to the Swedish part.
Yeah. They know it already, Marianne. But switching careers, anyone else having a point about this issue? Lars.
Yeah, of course, he should follow his heart. So if you want to be in social work, he should do it. But otherwise, my advice would be to stick with the education that you have in the background, because then you have an advantage to compete with the Danish employees.
Can you speak up, please?
Okay, should I speak? Okay, you should stick to your business. I mean, don't go for other education. You should learn Danish, of course, because you are in Denmark. Even though it's a private or public company, it's useful to speak Danish. So, but stick to your career. That would be my advice.
You seem to have something to say to that, Marianne.
Yeah, because I actually disagree.
Good.
Yeah.
With all of us.
No, about sticking to your education, if that's not what your passion is within and what you really want to do. I worked for 3 quite large companies, and for all 3 of them, the main opinion has been that unless, of course, we were talking about position for developing software or something where you need to have a highly technical education, but in positions like marketing, sales, HR, finance, your educational background was not that important. What was important was that you had some level of education, so that you had demonstrated that you could study and take learning to you and provide it again. But if your educational background was not particular within sales and marketing, it didn't matter if your passion was to come into sales and marketing. So I have had so many great colleagues, particularly in IBM, with all kind of different educational background, and that was not their reason for being in whatever position they were in. But of course, there are some positions that require a particular background. I think you might want to have some trained engineers and stuff like that. But for the huge variety of the, I don't know, administration kind of job, I think if you have the passion, be aware of what it is you want to do and why you want to do it. And then I actually believe that a lot of employer will see that as a bigger advantage.